Welcome back, dino enthusiasts, to a world lost in time. Today, we're journeying back 150 million years to the late Jurassic period. Picture this. Vast, sun-drenched savannas, stretching as far as the eye can see, dotted with lush green hills and ancient cycad forests. This is the realm of giants, and today, our focus is on one of the most magnificent of them all. Often mistaken for its cousin, the Brontosaurus apatosaurus was a true titan, reaching lengths of over 75 feet and weighing upwards of 20 tons. This long-necked sauropod was a walking mountain of muscle and bone. Its name, meaning deceptive lizard, hints at the initial confusion its fossils caused paleontologists. But there's nothing deceptive about its sheer size and power. These were gentle giants, roaming in herds, their days spent peacefully munching on ferns, conifers, and other plant life that carpeted the Jurassic landscape. Imagine the ground trembling with every step as a family of apatosaurus moves across the plain, their colossal forms silhouetted against the prehistoric sun. Life in the Jurassic, however, was far from a peaceful picnic. For every gentle herbivore, there was a formidable predator lurking in the shadows of the canyons or the dense tree. The primeval air, thick with the scent of damp earth and strange flora, also carried the constant threat of danger. And the apex predator of this era was a name that still inspires awe and fear. The Allosaurus, sleek, powerful, and armed with a mouth full of dagger-like teeth. Allosaurus was a master hunter, often operating in packs. These carnivores were the stuff of nightmares for many dinosaurs. An adult Allosaurus, though dwarfed by a full-grown Apatosaurus, was a formidable adversary. They were intelligent, strategic, and relentless. When a pack of Allosaurus set their sights on a target, a dramatic and brutal struggle for survival was inevitable. Our scene is set near a winding river that carves through a vast, grassy plain. A herd of Apatosaurus, a mix of massive adults and smaller, more vulnerable juveniles, has come to the water's edge to drink and graze on the succulent vegetation. The young ones stay close to the center of the herd, instinctively seeking the protection of their colossal parents and relatives. The sun beats down, casting long shadows from the nearby hills. For a moment, all is tranquil. The only sounds are the gentle lapping of water, the rustling of leaves, and the deep, low rumbles of the sauropods communicating with one another. But this peace is about to be shattered. From the rocky outcrops of a nearby canyon, watchful eyes have been tracking the herd. A pack of Allosaurus, lean and hungry, begins their approach. They move with a chilling coordination, using the terrain for cover, their powerful legs eating up the ground. They are not targeting the largest adults. That would be suicide. Their strategy is to isolate a weaker member, a juvenile, or perhaps an old or infirm individual on the edge of the herd. The lead Allosaurus lets out a sharp, piercing, ruerous signal to attack. The herd of Apatosaurus is instantly on high alert. The low, peaceful rumbles turn into loud, booming alarm calls that echo across the plain. Panic could be fatal, but these giants have an ancient, ingrained strategy for moments just like this. Chaos does not take over. Instead, instinct and intelligence combine to form one of nature's most impressive defensive displays. Immediately, the massive adults begin to move. It's not a panicked stampede, but a calculated, deliberate repositioning. The larger, stronger Apatosaurus start to form a circle, a living fortress of flesh and bone. They turn their bodies outward, facing the approaching threat. The vulnerable members the young, the old, the weak are shuffled and nudged into the protected center of this circle. It's a breathtaking sight, a wall of towering necks and powerful bodies, a barricade against the snapping jaws of predators. The Allosaurus pack, maybe 5 or 6 strong, now faces a formidable challenge. Their initial plan to pick off an easy target has been thwarted. Instead of a scattered, fleeing herd, they are confronted with a united, organized defense. But hunger is a powerful motivator. They begin to circle the Apatosaurus fortress, looking for any gap, any sign of weakness. They dart in and out, snapping their jaws, trying to intimidate and create confusion. This is where the Apatosaurus's true defensive weapons come into play. While they lacked horns or armor, they were far from defenseless. Their first line of defense is their immense size. A single, well-placed stomp from a multi-ton Apatosaurus could crush an Allosaurus instantly. The ground shakes as the adults shift their weight. Their massive, pillar-like legs, a constant threat to any predator that gets too close. Then, there is the tail. The Apatosaurus's tail was an incredible piece of biological engineering. Stretching over 30 feet long, it was thick and muscular at the base, tapering to a slender, whip-like end. It wasn't just for balance. This tail was a potent weapon. By swinging its powerful hips, an Apatosaurus could lash its tail with incredible speed. It's estimated that the tip of the tail could break the sound barrier, creating a deafening crack like a bullwhip. A direct hit from this tail could shatter bone, inflict deep wounds, and easily deter or even kill an attacker. As the Allosaurus pack probes the defensive circle, the Apatosaurus unleash their arsenal. The air is filled with the thunderous cracks of their whip. One Allosaurus gets to bold, lunging toward a gap between two adults. In a flash, a massive tail swings around. It doesn't make a direct hit, but the sonic boom and the sheer force of the air is enough to send the predators stumbling back. Disoriented, the ground trembles as one of the giant defenders rears up slightly on its hind legs, bringing its front feet down with a ground-shaking stomp. Clear warning. The skirmish becomes a tense stalemate. The Allosaurus are quick and agile, but they can't find a way through the living wall. The Apatosaurus are slow, but they are powerful, united, and defending their young with absolute ferocity. Their long necks, usually used for high browsing, now act as what the adults can see over their own backs, keeping track of the predator's movements and communicating with deep, resonant calls to coordinate their defense. One Apatosaurus might shift its position to block a new threat, while another swings its tail to cover a different angle. This battle of attrition can last for a long time. The Allosaurus are testing the herd's endurance, hoping that one of the giants will tire or make a mistake. The Apatosaurus are relying on their collective strength and unwavering resolve. For the young sauropods in the center, it's a terrifying but vital lesson in survival. They watch, they learn, and they feel the protective power of their family. Eventually, the predators must make a choice. Continuing the attack risks serious injury or death, with no guarantee of a meal. The sun is beginning to set, casting the bloody drama in hues of orange and red. The Allosaurus pack, having expended significant energy for no reward, begins to relent. Their aggressive lunges become more hesitant. The lead Allosaurus lets out a final, frustrated roar before turning away, leading its pack back towards the canyons, defeated for now. As the threat recedes, the Apatosaurus herd slowly relaxes its defensive formation. The circle loosens, but the adults remain vigilant, their booming calls softening back into low, reassuring rumbles. The young ones emerge from the center, staying close to their mothers. The herd didn't lose a single member. Their strategy, honed over millions of years of evolution, was a complete success. It was a victory not of aggression, but of cooperation, intelligence, and the unbreakable bond of a herd. This incredible circular defense formation shows us that the so-called gentle giants were anything but passive victims. They were intelligent, social animals with sophisticated strategies for protecting their own. It's a powerful reminder that in the brutal world of the dinosaurs, strength came in many forms. And sometimes, the greatest power of all was the power of standing together. Thank you so much for joining us on this trip back to the Jurassic. I hope you enjoyed this look into the dramatic lives of the Apatosaurus. If you love learning about the incredible world of dinosaurs, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Until next time, keep exploring. Have you ever looked at the skeleton of a Tyrannosaurus Rex and wondered, what if the history books, the fossil records, the very story of our planet got it wrong? What if the cataclysmic asteroid that supposedly wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago was on ANN, but a beginning? Not an extinction event, but a catalyst for the most radical evolution imaginable. Today, we're not digging into the past. We're stepping into a present that could have been a world where dinosaurs never left. Forget ancient jungles and primordial swamps. Picture this: Crumbling skyscrapers, rusted-out cars, and the eerie silence of a world reclaimed. This is the new age of dinosaurs. In this alternate reality, the Great Impact was devastating, but not final. It plunged the world into a nuclear winter, choking the skies with ash and radically altering the climate. Most large dinosaurs, the lumbering giants we know from museums, did perish. They were too big, too specialized. Their food sources vanished overnight. But life, as they say, finds a way. Smaller, more adaptable species clung to existence. The feathered raptors, the agile troodontids, the tough, armored they weathered the long dark, their bodies and behaviors forced to change at an accelerated pace. As the dust settled over millennia, a new world emerged. A world of empty concrete canyons and towering steel skeletons. Humanity rose, built empires of glass and light. And then, through its own folly be it war, plague, or environmental collapse, it vanished, and into this ready-made vertical jungle, the new dinosaurs emerged from the shadows. Let's start our urban safari in the skeletal remains of what was once a bustling downtown core. The skyscrapers, now draped in thick ivy and scarred by time, have become the domain of the apex predators. Meet the Tyrannosaur scrapper. This descendant is smaller, sleeker, maybe only half the size of its ancestor. Its powerful legs, once used to chase down hadrosaurs on open plains, are now perfectly adapted for leaping between rooftops and navigating treacherous, debris-strewn streets. Its scales have evolved into a mottled pattern of grays and browns, providing perfect camouflage against concrete and rusted metal. Its arms, once a subject of ridicule, have become longer, more functional, tipped with sharp claws for gripping onto ledges, and tearing open the metal hides of derelict vehicles to find shelter or corner prey. Its bite is still devastating, but its intelligence has sharpened. It's a strategic hunter, using the complex, three-dimensional environment to ambush its quarry. Its chilling calls echoing between the empty buildings. But what does it hunt? The herbivore hoods of the Cretaceous are long gone. In their place are the gutter-grazing, imagined descendants of small ornithopods, perhaps hypsilophodonts, that have evolved into creatures the size of large dogs. They travel in skittish flocks, their beaks now tough enough to strip insulation from wires, chew through tough synthetic materials, and graze on the hardy, mutated mosses and fungi that grow in the perpetual shade of the urban canyons. Their coloration mimics the graffiti and decay of the city walls, making them incredibly difficult to spot. They are fast, nervous, and their primary defense is their speed and ability to dart into narrow alleyways, sewer pipes, or the hollowed-out ground floors of office buildings, where larger predators can't follow. The skies are no longer ruled by pterosaurs, but by neoavians, the direct descendants of feathered dinosaurs like Microraptor. These are not the birds we know. Think of creatures the size of eagles, with sharp, serrated teeth still lining their beaks. Their wings are broad, allowing them to soar on the thermal updrafts created by the sun-baked concrete. They nest at the very pinnacles of the tallest skyscrapers, the old penthouse suites and communication towers now serving as their eye. They are silent, deadly hunters, swooping down to snatch gutter grazers from the streets or to pick off the unwary from exposed ledges. Their feathers have a metallic, iridescent sheen, a bizarre and beautiful adaptation to their new environment, perhaps for signaling or mating displays against the backdrop of glass and steel. Now, let's descend into the underbelly of the city, the subway tunnels and sewer systems. This dark, labyrinthine world has its own unique ecosystem. Here, the descendants of Troodontes have thrived. We'll call them the tunnel stalkers. Almost completely blind, they navigate through a combination of extreme hearing, touch, and a sophisticated sense of smell. Their bodies are elongated and pale, almost salamander-like, allowing them to slither through tight spaces. Their famously large brains have made them incredibly cunning pack hunters. They communicate through a series of complex, high-frequency clicks that bounce off the tunnel walls, a form of echolocation not unlike that of bats. They hunt the giant, mutated insects and rodents that have flourished in the subterranean decay, but a pack of them would be a terrifying threat to anything that wanders into their sunless kingdom. Their large eyes, once a sign of nocturnal prowess, are now vestigial, clouded over and useless in the eternal darkness. And what about the armored tanks of the Ankylosaurs? Their descendants, the urban hulks, are perhaps the most changed of all. Smaller, more compact, they resemble walking barricades. Their armor is thicker, more metallic in composition, reinforced by scavenging and ingesting minerals from the crumbling infrastructure. Their famous tail clubs are not just for defense against predators. They have evolved into powerful demolition tools. An urban hulk can smash through concrete walls, break open sealed bunkers, or collapse structures to access the deep, nutrient-rich molds and plant life growing inside. They are solitary, slow-moving creatures, the bulldozers of this new dinosaur age. Their heavy footsteps sending tremors through the hollow streets as they reshape the urban landscape to suit their needs. This ecosystem is a complex web of predator and prey, all uniquely shaped by the artificial environment left behind by humans. The Tyrannosaur scrapper hunts the gutter grazers and occasionally tries to ambush a young urban hulk. The Neovians prey on the gutter grazers and the tunnel stalkers if they venture too close to the surface. And the tunnel stalkers, in their dark domain, consume anything they can overpower. Their clicking calls a constant, chilling reminder of the life that teems just beneath your feet. The very seasons are different here. The rainy season might be when old water mains finally burst, flooding entire city blocks and creating temporary wetlands. The dry season is the long, hot summer where the sun beats down on the concrete, forcing many creatures into a state of estivation in the cool lower levels of buildings. This world is a testament to the relentless, creative force of evolution. It shows that life doesn't just adapt to nature, it adapts to whatever environment it's given, even one as alien as a dead city. The dinosaurs, in this scenario, inherited our world, not as a pristine wilderness, but as a jungle of our own making. They climb our towers, nest in our homes, and hunt in the shadows of our achievements. It's a humbling and awe-inspiring thought. The next time you walk through a quiet city street at night, listen closely. Maybe, just maybe, you'll hear the distant echo of a call that hasn't been heard for 66 million years, repurposed for a world of concrete and steel. What do you think? Which of these evolved dinosaurs fascinates you the most? The rooftop-leaping scrapper, the silent neo-avian, or the echolocating tunnel stalker? Let me know your ideas for other evolved dinosaurs in the comments below. What other creatures could have survived and adapted to this concrete jungle? Thanks for joining us on this journey into a world that never was. If you enjoyed this speculative safari, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more trips into the extraordinary. See you next time. Travel back in time with me to a world you might not recognize. We're in the late Cretaceous, about 70 million years ago. But forget the steamy jungles you see in movies. We're heading north, way north, past the temperate forests, beyond the familiar, to a place of chilling winds and seasonal darkness. This is the Arctic Circle, a polar world ruled by dinosaurs. For months, this land has been shrouded in a deep, dark polar winter. But now, a change is in the air. The sun is returning, climbing higher in the sky each day. Its warmth is a lifeline, melting the vast sheets of ice and snow that have held the landscape captive. Rivers, once frozen solid, are beginning to crack and flow. The tundra, a seemingly barren expanse, is stirring back to life. This is the signal. The Great Migration is about to begin. Hundreds, thousands of herbivorous dinosaurs have survived the brutal winter, and now they must move. Their destination, the lush, newly sprouted floodplains further south. A buffet of ferns and horsetails waiting for them. But the journey is long, and it is treacherous. Leading the charge are the titans of the north. These aren't just any ceratopsian. They are colossal, tank-like creatures, weighing over 4 tons. Instead of a sharp-nosed horn, they possess a massive, bony boss on their snouts. A living battering ram, perfect for defense and dominance disputes. Their magnificent frills are adorned with smaller horns, a crown of bone that signals their status. They are a force of nature, a moving wall of muscle and bone. Following in their formidable footsteps are the These duck-billed hadrosaurs are the gentle giants of this procession. They travel in vast, mixed-age herds, their calls echoing across the thawing landscape. Their survival depends on staying together, a strategy of safety in numbers. The young stick close to their mothers, learning the ancient roots, their senses alert for any sign of danger. The sheer size of this combined herd is a spectacle, a river of life flowing across the awakening Arctic. Their journey follows a path carved by generations before them, a path dictated by the very shape of the land. As they move south, the terrain funnels them into a bottleneck. Here, the mountains close in, forcing the entire migratory superherd towards a single, narrow land bridge. This causeway is their only route across a newly thawed, fast-flowing river, a chasm of icy water that is too wide to swim and too dangerous to ford. Crossing this bridge is essential. It's the gateway to survival. But for some, it will become a trap. They are not alone. Something is watching. Hidden in the sparse, hardy conifer forests that line the gorge, a different kind of dinosaur has been waiting. These are the tundra's apex predators, not Tyrannosaurus rex, but their smaller, faster, and arguably more intelligent cousins. The name Nanyucsaurus means polar bear lizard, a fitting title for these masters of the cold. They are smaller than their southern relatives, a compact design that's efficient for retaining heat. But don't let their size fool you. They are built for the ambush. Their feathers, a thick, insulating coat, are likely mottled shades of white, gray, and brown, providing perfect camouflage against the rocky, partially snowed terrain. They are ghosts in the landscape, invisible until it's too late. These hunters are not solitary. They operate in a coordinated pack, a family unit bound by a sophisticated hunting strategy. For weeks, they have been patient, conserving energy, observing the movements of the herd from a distance. They know this migration route. They know about the land bridge. And they know it's their best, and perhaps only, chance for a supersized meal that will sustain them for weeks. The alpha, a scarred veteran female, gives a low, guttural call, almost too low for the herbivores to hear. It's the signal. The hunt is on. The pack members move with silent, deliberate steps, flanking the entrance to the causeway. They don't rush. They position themselves, using the rocks and sparse trees as cover, their keen eyes fixed on the approaching column of plantains. As the first of the Tyrannosaurs step onto the narrow bridge, the herd begins to compress. The younger, more nervous Edmontosaurus in the middle and rear of the group become anxious, jostling for position. The noise of the herd is immense cacophony of low grunts, shuffling feet, and the splash of water. This chaos is exactly what the Nanyucsaurus have been waiting for. Suddenly, the attack begins. It's a blur of motion and calculated violence. One group of Nanyucsaurus bursts from cover at the rear of the herd, their purpose not to kill, but to create panic. They slash and bite at the legs of the rearmost, creating a shockwave of fear that surges forward through the entire column. At the same time, the alpha and the most experienced hunters launch their assault at the front, targeting the choke point itself. Their goal isn't to take down a full-grown Tyrannosaurus head-on. That would be suicide. Their strategy is one of disruption and isolation. They lunge at the legs of the lead animals, trying to hamstring them, to break the forward momentum. An old, battle-scarred Tyrannosaurus bull roars in defiance, lowering its massive head and charging one of the attackers. But the Nanyucsaurus is too agile, sidestepping the clumsy charge and delivering a deep gash to the giant's flank. The herd is now in total disarray. The path forward is blocked by the fighting, and the path backward is a scene of terror. Young, weaker, or injured individuals are separated from the main group. This is the moment the Nanyucsaurus have engineered. They work like sheepdogs of death, singling out a juvenile Edmontosaurus that has been knocked off balance in the stampede. The pack converges on the isolated target. With terrifying efficiency, they surround it, cutting off its escape. Their powerful jaws, filled with banana-sized serrated teeth, are designed for one thing: to grip and to rip. The attack is swift and brutal. While a few predators keep the rest of the panicked herd at bay, the others overwhelm their chosen prey. The migration grinds to a halt. The sounds of battle echo through the gorge. Some brave Dinosaurs try to form a defensive circle, but the terrain is too narrow. Their movements too restricted. The herd is trapped between the predators and the sheer drop to the icy river below. In the ensuing panic, some dinosaurs are pushed over the edge, their bodies crashing into the water, lost to the current. For the Nanyucsaurus, the hunt is a success. They have secured a kill, a feast that will feed the entire pack. As they drag their prize away from the chaos, the rest of the herbivore herd slowly, cautiously, begins to move forward again. The immediate threat has passed, but the tension remains. They have paid the price of passage. The survivors will continue their journey south, but they will carry the memory of the ambush in the frozen pass. This incredible scene, a life and death drama played out 70 million years ago, shows us a dynamic and complex Arctic ecosystem. It wasn't a barren wasteland, but a world of great migrations and intelligent, cooperative predators, perfectly adapted to a life of feast and famine at the top of the world. It's a powerful reminder that the age of dinosaurs was more varied, more extreme, and more amazing than we can ever fully imagine. Thanks so much for journeying back to the Cretaceous with me today. If you found this trip into the prehistoric Arctic as fascinating as I did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the lost world of the dinosaurs. We'll see you on the next adventure. Have you ever pictured dinosaurs trekking through snowy mountains, their breath turning to mist in the frigid air? It's a scene straight out of an epic fantasy. But recent discoveries suggest this might have been a reality for some dinosaurs during the Jurassic period. We often imagine them in lush, tropical jungles, but the world of the dinosaurs was far more diverse and challenging than that. For many plant eaters, survival meant escaping the predator-filled lowlands and venturing into a brutal, high-altitude world. This is the story of their incredible struggle for survival on the snowlines of the ancient world. The Jurassic lowlands were a paradise, but a dangerous one. Lush ferns, cycads, and conifers provided an endless buffet for giant herbivores, like Brachiosaurus but where there are herbivores, there are always carnivores. Fearsome predators like Allosaurus, with its powerful jaws and sharp claws, constantly stalked these gentle giants. For smaller or less defended plant eaters, every moment was a gamble. The constant threat of ambush made life in the lowlands a stressful, dangerous existence. While the big sauropods could rely on their immense size for protection, many other species had to find a different strategy to survive. Their solution was radical. Go up. They began a massive migration, leaving the crowded, dangerous plains behind and heading for the imposing mountain ranges that crisscrossed the Jurassic landscape. This wasn't just a short trip, it was a journey into a completely different world. As they ascended, the familiar, warm air grew thin and cold. The dense forests gave way to sparse, hardy vegetation. This was a land of extremes, a place most life would struggle to endure. But for these dinosaurs, the mountains offered something the lowlands couldn't. Safety. The rugged terrain and harsh conditions were a natural fortress against the large predators that could untisely navigate the steep, treacherous slopes. Life above the tree line was a constant battle. The first and most immediate challenge was the air itself. At high altitudes, the air is thin, meaning there's less oxygen with every breath. For large, active animals, this would have been incredibly taxing. Modern birds, the descendants of dinosaurs, have incredibly efficient respiratory systems with air sacs that allow for a continuous flow of oxygen. It's highly likely that these herbivorous dinosaurs possessed a similar system. This advanced breathing apparatus would have been crucial, allowing them to extract enough oxygen from the thin air to power their massive bodies, enabling them to climb higher and survive where other creatures would have suffocated. Then came the cold. As they climbed, temperatures plummeted. The once warm ground was now covered in patches of frost and, eventually, thick blankets of snow. How did these so-called cold-blooded reptiles survive? The idea that all dinosaurs were cold-blooded is now largely outdated. Many scientists believe that dinosaurs, especially the larger ones, their sheer body mass allowed them to retain heat much more efficiently than smaller animals. Think of them as living, walking furnaces. Their slow metabolism, combined with their immense size, would generate and trap enough internal heat to keep them warm even in freezing temperatures. Feathers might have also played a role. While we often associate feathers with flying dinosaurs, many Nenavian dinosaurs, including some herbivores, had them. A coat of primitive feathers would have acted as a superb insulator, trapping a layer of air against the skin and protecting them from the biting mountain winds, much like the downy feathers of modern birds. Perhaps the greatest challenge of all was finding food. The lush buffet of the lowlands was gone. Up here, the landscape was barren. Food was scarce and consisted mainly of tough, hardy plants like high-altitude conifers, heavy shrubs, and lichen clinging to rocks. These plants offered far less nutrition than the soft vegetation of the plains. To survive, these mountain-dwelling dinosaurs needed specialized adaptations. Their teeth were likely incredibly strong and wear-resistant, designed for grinding down tough, fibrous plant matter. They would have also needed a massive, complex digestive system, probably filled with symbiotic bacteria and gastrolithostomic stones to help break down this resilient foliage and extract every last calorie. They would have spent nearly all their waking hours foraging, moving constantly across the vast, empty slopes in search of their next meal. The social structure of these dinosaur herds would have been critical for their mountain survival. Living in a group provided numerous advantages. They could work together to find sparse patches of vegetation. When a food source was located, the herd could graze together, with some individuals keeping watch for any danger while others ate. This collective vigilance was essential. Even though the large lowland predators were absent, the mountains had their own dangers. A sudden rock slide, a treacherous icy patch, or a deep crevasse could be just as deadly as an Allosaurus. By sticking together, they could alert each other to these hazards. The herd also provided warmth. Huddling together during the brutal, freezing nights would have helped them conserve precious body heat. A simple yet effective strategy against the relentless cold. The experienced elders of the herd would have held the key to survival. Their knowledge of migration routes, safe paths, and seasonal food locations passed down through generations. The changing seasons would have dictated their entire existence. The mountain summer, though short, would have been a time of relative abundance. Melting snow would reveal fresh plant growth. Dinosaurs would have eaten voraciously, building up fat reserves for the lean times ahead. But as autumn arrived, the temperatures would drop and the snows would return, burying the landscape once more. This would have been the signal for many herds to begin a slow, careful descent to lower, more sheltered valleys where food might still be found. This annual migration, up and down the mountain slopes, would have been a defining rhythm of their lives, a grueling, epic journey driven by the fundamental need to eat and survive. So, the next time you think of dinosaurs, don't just picture them in a steamy jungle. Imagine them as tough, resilient survivors. Picture a herd of armored dinosaurs, their backs dusted with snow, carefully picking their way along a narrow mountain ridge. Hear the crunch of their footsteps on the icy ground and see the plume of their warm breath against the stark, blue sky. This wasn't an easy life. It was a testament to their incredible adaptability. They conquered one of the harshest environments on Earth, proving that these magnificent creatures were not just giants of the jungle, but masters of the mountains as well. Their story is one of endurance, ingenuity, and the powerful, unyielding drive to survive against all odds. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the lost world of the mountain dinosaurs. If you enjoyed this glimpse into a different side of the Jurassic, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the prehistoric past. See you next time. Picture this, 100 million years ago. During the Cretaceous period, the world is a canvas of lush greens and deep blues. Vast river systems carved through the landscape, sprawling into muddy swamps and cascading down powerful waterfalls. This is North Africa, but not as we know it today. This is a water world, a prehistoric Everglades on a colossal scale. And in this realm, a king reigns supreme. Not on the land, but in the water. This is the story of Spinosaurus, the silent hunter of the rivers. For decades, we imagined dinosaurs as land-dwelling giants. Tyrannosaurus Rex was the undisputed king, the apex predator of our collective imagination. But science is a story that's constantly being rewritten. And in the heart of the Sahara Desert, fossil discoveries began to paint a picture of a dinosaur unlike any other, a creature more at home in the water than on the shore. Spinosaurus, Egypt. The name itself, spined lizard from Egypt, hints at its most striking feature. A magnificent sail of skin, supported by neural spines, stretching up to 6 feet tall from its back. What was this incredible structure for? A display to attract mates, a way to regulate its body temperature, or perhaps, like the dorsal fin of a shark, a stabilizer as it moved through the water. The truth is likely a combination of all three. A multi-purpose tool for a multi-talented predator. But the sail is just the beginning of its aquatic adaptations. Look at its skull, long and slender, like a crocodile's. It's packed with conical, interlocking teeth. These weren't the bone-crushing daggers of No, these were perfect for gripping slippery prey. Its nostrils were positioned high on its snout, allowing it to breathe while mostly submerged, just like a modern-day hippo or croc. And recent studies of its skull have revealed a dense network of neurovascular canals, similar to those found in crocodiles. This suggests it had pressure sensors on its snout, allowing it to detect the movement of fish in murky water without even needing to see them. It could literally feel its next meal swimming by. Its body was a masterpiece of aquatic engineering. Unlike other theropods with hollow, bird-like bones, Spinosaurus had incredibly dense bones in its legs. This wasn't a flaw, it was a feature. The heavy bones acted as ballast, helping it control its buoyancy and stay submerged, much like the solid bones of manatees and penguins today. It no longer needed to be light and agile for chasing prey on land. It needed to be stable and powerful in the water. And then there's the tail. For the longest time, we reconstructed Spinosaurus with a typical, tapering dinosaur tail. But a stunning fossil discovery in Morocco revealed something extraordinary. Its tail was not thin and pointy. It was deep and paddle-like, shaped by long spines into a powerful fin, almost like an eel's. This was the engine. With powerful side-to-side movements of this unique tail, Spinosaurus could propel its massive, 50-foot-long body through the water with incredible force and agility. It wasn't just wading in the shallows. It was an active pursuit predator in a deep-water environment. So, let's reconstruct a hunt. Imagine our Spinosaurus lurking silently in the murky depths of a wide, slow-moving river. Only the top of its snout breaks the surface. Its sail might be a deceptive landmark, looking like a cluster of reeds from a distance. Its sensitive snout detects the vibrations of a large school of Onchopristis, a giant prehistoric sawfish, 8 meters long and armed with a rostrum of barbed teeth. The Spinosaurus doesn't launch a clumsy, splashing attack. It's a creature of stealth. It sinks beneath the surface, its dense bones giving it perfect control. Propelled by its powerful tail, it glides through the water, an enormous, serpentine shadow. It positions itself below the unsuspecting school of fish. Then, with a sudden burst of speed, it strikes from beneath. Its long jaws snap shut, the conical teeth providing the perfect grip on the slippery, struggling side. There's a brief, violent thrashing in the water, and then stillness as the giant predator drags its prize to a secluded bank to feed. This was its domain. The river systems of Cretaceous North Africa were teeming with life, a smorgasbord for an aquatic specialist, giant coelacanths, lungfish the size of cars, and of course, the formidable Spinosaurus was perfectly evolved to exploit this rich ecosystem, a niche no other giant theropod could fill. It was the great white shark, the saltwater crocodile, and the grizzly bear of its time, all rolled into one incredible package. But was it truly alone at the top of the food chain? Did this river king rule unopposed? Every kingdom has a challenger. In the same rivers and swamps hunted by Spinosaurus, there lurked another giant predator. It wasn't another dinosaur, it was a crocodile, but a crocodile of monstrous proportions. Carcharodontosaurus, the shark-toothed lizard, was a terrestrial giant that likely patrolled the shorelines, but the true aquatic rival was Sarcosuchus imperator. The Sarcosuchus was a 40-foot-long behemoth, weighing up to 8 tons. Its skull alone was nearly 6 feet long, and its jaws were lined with over 100 thick, sturdy teeth. While Spinosaurus was a specialist fish eater, Sarcosuchus was a generalist ambush predator. It would lie in wait, almost completely submerged, ready to explode from the water to snatch dinosaurs that came to the river's edge to drink. So, who would win in a fight? A prime adult Spinosaurus versus a fully grown Sarcosuchus. It's the prehistoric clash of titans we'd all love to see. A battle of two different aquatic hunting styles. Spinosaurus was more agile in open water, a pursuit predator built for swimming. Sarcosuchus was a master of the ambush, a living battering ram of pure power and armor. A chance encounter in a deep river channel might favor the Spinosaurus. Its height, its powerful tail, and its ability to maneuver in 3 dimensions underwater would give it an advantage. It could potentially attack from above or below, using its long snout to target the Lasarmard underbelly of the giant croc. But in the shallows, or near the bank, the tables would turn dramatically. Here, Sarcosuchus could use its immense weight and low profile to its advantage. A classic crocodile death roll could easily snap the more slender legs or neck of the Spinosaurus. One well-placed ambush from a Sarcosuchus, clamping down on a leg or the neck as the Spinosaurus waited, could be the end for the dinosaur. It's unlikely they hunted each other regularly. Such a fight would be incredibly risky for both animals. More likely, they maintained a healthy respect, a tense coexistence. They were two different kings, sharing the same massive kingdom. Spinosaurus was the master of the open water, the active hunter of the river's bounty. Sarcosuchus was the guardian of the shallows, the patient, explosive ambusher of the shoreline. They may have competed for resources, perhaps stealing kills from one another, their growls and hisses echoing across the primeval swamps. But their presence together paints an even more vivid picture of this lost world and ecosystem so rich and dangerous. It could support not one, but two colossal aquatic The story of Spinosaurus is a powerful reminder that our understanding of the past is always evolving. It challenges our classic view of dinosaurs and reveals a world far more complex and fascinating than we ever imagined. From a mysterious desert fossil to a fully realized aquatic terror, Spinosaurus has swam out of the shadows of history and into its rightful place as one of the most incredible predators to have ever lived. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back to the Cretaceous. What do you think? Who would win in a fight between Spinosaurus and Sarc? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next prehistoric adventure. Until next time, stay curious. Welcome back to Dinoverse, where we travel back in time to witness the most epic survival stories the Earth has ever known. Today, we journey to the late Jurassic period, around 150 million years ago. But we're not heading to lush forests or sprawling fern prairies. Instead, our destination is a place of brutal extremes. A vast, scorching desert, under the relentless glare of the prehistoric sun. Imagine a world painted in shades of red and orange. Towering sand dunes, sculpted by an ever-present wind, stretch as far as the eye can see. The air shimmers with heat, and life clings desperately to existence. In this unforgiving landscape, even the mightiest creatures are humbled. Our story focuses on one such giant, a true titan of the Jurassic alone, Diplodocus. This magnificent herbivore, over 80 feet long, from its snout to the tip of its whip-like tail, is a creature built for abundance. Its long neck, a marvel of biological engineering, is designed to browse high in the treetops or sweep low across vast plains of ferns. But here, in this arid wasteland, there are no trees, no lush vegetation. There are only scattered, tough, low-lying shrubs, and the promise of water at distant, shrinking oases. Our Diplodocus is old. The weathered skin on its colossal flanks tells a story of countless seasons, of battles won, and of a long, arduous life. It moves with a slow, deliberate rhythm. Each footfall, a soft thud in the deep sand. Every ounce of energy is precious here. Its immense body requires a staggering amount of food and water each day, a demand this desert can barely meet. For weeks, it has been trekking, following an ancient memory, a deep-rooted instinct that guides it towards a familiar watering hole. As the sun climbs to its zenith, the heat becomes suffocating. The air grows thick and heavy. The Diplodocus lifts its head, its small nostrils flaring, sampling the wind. Something is wrong. The scent of the air has changed. It carries a new grittiness, a taste of dust and distant turmoil. A low, almost imperceptible hum begins to vibrate through the ground. A sound felt more than heard. The smaller creatures of the desert, the lizards and early mammals, have already vanished, seeking refuge in burrows and crevices. They know what's coming. On the horizon, the clear blue sky is being devoured. A monstrous, churning wall of sand and dust, the color of burnt umber, is rising to blot out the sun. It's a superstorm, a desert's ultimate weapon. This isn't just a strong wind. It's a moving mountain of abrasive particles, a suffocating force of nature. Panic is not an option for a creature this large. To run would be a fatal waste of energy. The Diplodocus must stand its ground. It turns its massive body to face the oncoming storm, presenting the smallest possible profile to the wind's fury. It lowers its head, tucking it down towards its chest, protecting its vulnerable eyes and nostrils. Its powerful legs tense, planting themselves deep into the sand, bracing for the impact. This is a battle of endurance, pitting biological might against geological fury. Then, it hits. The world dissolves into a roaring, blinding chaos. The sun vanishes completely, plunging the landscape into an eerie, orange twilight. The wind howls, a physical force that pushes and shoves against the dinosaur's immense frame. Sand, whipped into a frenzy, becomes a relentless barrage of tiny projectiles. It scours the Diplodocus's thick hide, stinging and abrasive. Breathing becomes a conscious, difficult effort, each inhalation a risk of filling its massive lungs with suffocating dust. The storm rages. Minutes stretch into what feels like an eternity. The sheer noise is deafening, a constant, high-pitched scream of wind and the percussive hiss of a billion grains of sand. The Diplodocus remains steadfast, a living mountain against the tempest. Its leg muscles, honed by a lifetime of carrying its colossal weight, strain to keep it anchored. It rocks slightly with the most violent gusts, but holds firm. Its survival depends entirely on this posture, on this unwavering display of passive resistance. Inside the storm, visibility is zero. The world is reduced to the immediate sensation of wind, sand, and the desperate need for air. The Diplodocus relies on its sheer mass and its low center of gravity. This is not a fight of aggression, but of pure, unyielding resilience. It is a testament to the incredible adaptations that allowed these giants to conquer nearly every environment on Earth, even the most hostile. Hours pass. The fury of the storm begins to wane. The deafening roar subsides to a mournful whistle, and the suffocating blanket of dust begins to thin. Light, weak and filtered, breaks through the gloom. The Diplodocus, caked in a thick layer of reddish sand, finally raises its long neck. It shakes its head, dislodging dust from its eyes and nostrils, and takes a deep, cleansing breath of the newly cleared air. The landscape has been transformed. Dunes have shifted, their crests sharpened. The world is smoother, softer, every feature blanketed in a fresh layer of sand. The old giant is exhausted, its energy reserves dangerously depleted. But it has survived. It has weathered the storm. Now, a new urgency drives it. The storm has evaporated what little moisture was in the air, and the ordeal has left it desperately thirsty. With slow, determined steps, it resumes its journey. The watering hole, its ultimate destination, is still miles away. But the Diplodocus pushes forward, a symbol of incredible strength and the powerful, unyielding will to live that defined the age of the dinosaurs. It is a true desert titan, a survivor in a world of extremes. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey back in time. If you were as amazed by the resilience of the Diplodocus as we were, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Dinoverse for more epic prehistoric stories. Let us know in the comments which dinosaur you want to see face an impossible challenge next. Until then, stay curious.